Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome, 8th graders. I am so pumped to be here with you today because we're talking about a literal superpower that every truly great writer has. In this explainer, we're going to master the art of becoming a diligent and excellent editor. Basically, we're looking at what it means to polish your prose, which is really just a fancy term for your everyday writing, with both excellence and grace. It's all about taking something good and making it absolutely great. But first, I want you to be totally honest with me for a second. Have you ever sent a text message to a friend or maybe to your parents that completely changed its meaning just because of one tiny accidental typo? Come on, we've all been there. Maybe autocorrect totally betrayed you, or your thumbs were just moving way too fast, and suddenly, boom, you're sending a message that is highly embarrassing, completely confusing, or just unintentionally hilarious. Well, that everyday experience right there, it perfectly illustrates why editing is so incredibly crucial. It's really about making absolutely sure the message in your head is the exact message the other person actually gets. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the power of editing, then why editing matters, followed by your actual editing process. Next, we'll see some editing in action, jump into your editing mission, and wrap it all up with education with morality. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the power of editing, polishing your work. For this, I really want you to think of yourself not just as a student cranking out an assignment, but as a master craftsman. Think about it. When a woodworker builds a beautiful table, they don't just nail a bunch of wood together and call it a day, right? No way. They sand it down, they carefully stain it, and they apply a final polish so it really shines. And you know what? That is exactly what you're doing with your writing. Editing is simply the process of checking and fixing spelling, grammar, and punctuation to ensure a piece is polished, correct, and actually ready for others to read. And definitely notice that last part, ready for others to read. Because editing isn't just about hunting down mistakes so you don't get a bad grade, it's actually the final stage of the creative process where you prepare your masterpiece for the gallery. Moving right along to Section 2, why editing matters, respecting your audience. Let's shift our perspective here for a moment. I know editing can sometimes feel like a tedious chore, but it's actually deeply connected to your character. Listen to this incredible piece of wisdom from Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. If you're going to take the time to write a paragraph, an essay, or a story, you should really do it with everything you've got. Taking the extra time to properly edit connects directly to this biblical foundation of hard work and diligence. A well-edited piece of writing physically shows the reader that you honor their time and that you truly care about what you're sharing with them. Because the absolutely crucial point is this: even the best ideas lose their impact if they're filled with spelling, grammar, and punctuation mistakes. You guys are incredibly smart, right? You have brilliant ideas. But imagine your brilliant idea is this beautiful island, and your writing is the bridge to get to that island. If your bridge is full of holes, like bad grammar and missing commas, your reader is just going to fall right through. They will literally never make it to your brilliant idea. So editing simply repairs the bridge so your message can walk safely across. So, how do we actually do this? That brings us to Section 3, your editing process, the step-by-step guide. Now that we understand the why, let's talk about the how. Having a clear structure makes this so much easier. So here is your perfect 4-step checklist. Step 1, spelling. And a quick warning here, please don't rely only on spell check. Your computer doesn't actually know if you meant there, or there. You've got to use your own brain for that one. Step 2, punctuation. Double-check your periods, commas, apostrophes, and quotation marks. Think of them as the traffic signals of your sentences. Step 3 is grammar. Check your subject-verb agreement. Keep your verb tenses consistent, and make sure your pronouns actually make sense. And finally, Step 4, formatting. Ensure your headings, margins, and spacing look neat and consistent. If you follow these exact 4 steps every single time, your writing is going to shine. Let's put this into practice. Section 4, editing in action. Let's see the difference. Let's look at how these rules actually work in practice. Consider the phrase, "she walked to school every day." Now, we know what the writer means, but it feels kind of clunky, right? But if we just change it to, "she walks to school every day," adding that one simple S completely fixes the subject-verb agreement. It flows so much better now, doesn't it? Okay, now consider how much power one tiny punctuation mark can hold. Imagine writing, "let's eat grandma." Oh no, we are officially turning into cannibals. But by simply adding a comma, we get, "let's eat grandma." See that? One tiny comma literally saves grandma's life. Punctuation tells the reader exactly when to pause and how to understand the relationships between words. It is absolutely vital. And here's a super common spelling error. I received your letter, spelled with an IE. When we correct it to I received your letter using EI, well, remember that old rule, I before E, except after C? Taking just a few extra seconds to double-check your spelling accuracy instantly elevates the professionalism of your writing. It shows you're actually paying attention to the details. All right, your turn. Section 5, your editing mission. Time to practice. Consider this your official mission briefing, because I know you are totally capable of executing this. Here is your 5-point mission for today's assignment. First, you'll need to locate and correct 3 spelling errors in a paragraph provided to you. Second, you're going to add missing commas to a specific sentence to make it crystal clear. Remember, poor grandma. Third, you need to find and fix 2 subject-verb agreement mistakes in your own past writing. Fourth, hunt down 1 run-on sentence and rewrite it correctly. And finally, fifth, check a short piece of writing to ensure it uses complete sentences and proper punctuation. Just rely on that 4-step process we just walked through, and you are going to absolutely crush this mission. Let's zoom out for a second. Section 6, Education with Morality, the Bigger Picture. I want us to slow down our pace just a little bit here at the end, because this is where the mechanics of standard English conventions connect directly back to your personal character. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. That's a quote from Luke 16:10. Good writing shows up in the details, just like good character. Editing and revising your work reflects humility. It's basically saying, hey, I know my first draft isn't perfect, and I'm willing to put in the work to make it better. It shows you're faithful in the small things like commas and spelling. And honestly, if you can be trusted to handle the small details with care, you can be trusted with much bigger responsibilities later in life. And this brings us right to a core philosophy of the Heroes Smart Academy Godly Learners series. Education without morality will hurt. Really think about that. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. That's our experience, and it's exactly what happens when we engage with content that lifts us up. Because having all the intelligence and all the vocabulary in the world really means nothing if you don't have a moral compass guiding how you use those tools. So I want to leave you with this final, powerful question to chew on. What is the point of being smart and supposedly educated if you continue to make bad choices that hurt? Writing correctly is a choice. Editing diligently is a choice. Living with excellence and grace is a choice. As you go out and tackle your editing mission today, my challenge to you is to apply that exact same diligence, not just to your prose, but to your entire life. Take care of the small things, respect your audience, and just watch how it transforms your work. Happy editing, everyone.